Hey guys, and happy Tuesday. We are having beautiful weather here in Philadelphia, PA. I'm so happy that you guys are able to join me this evening through these very trying and difficult times in 2021. I would like to say that there was a milestone for Black American history. Former Officer Derek Chauvin was convicted on all charges for the death of George Floyd. But I want black people in America, in fact, all of America, to know one thing. This is just the beginning. We need qualified immunity compromised when it comes to racism in the police department. And we need legislation. And we need the George Floyd crime bill or the George Floyd bill passed. But with that all being said, you can watch each and every episode of the Indie Spotlight on IGTV whenever you want. On my main page at Shayrenee 215. My backup page is Shayrenee 267. You can add me on both of those. The Indie Spotlight Special Edition Tuesdays. We are having a special guest. His name is Al.B. He is an R&B singer, a music businessman, a touring artist, and a singer-songwriter. We're going to be talking to him about record deals, a little bit of music, a little bit about music promotions, and tour life. So I'm happy to bring him to the camera when he comes in. And I want to say hello and thank you to all the guests and all the viewers that have came by. I really do appreciate you. So let's see if I can invite him to the camera. Why is this not a... Let's see if he's coming to the... Oh, let me see. I think I said hello to everyone. Let me make sure that... Is that how I put the name in? Oh, maybe it's underscore. I'm not sure. So we'll just wait for him to come into the room. Just right now, I'm trying to see how, I know that you can call somebody in your room. I don't know why. Oh, here we go. Okay, hi. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay.
That's good.
Um, it's like it's a pretty pivotal moment in American history.
Right. Absolutely.
Um, yes, with the verdict going on, but
Mm-hmm.
that's just the first step. We need legislation
All right.
and bills passed.
Agreed.
But anyway, on a good note, it's really, really good weather. Is it really good weather where you are?
It is.
Yeah, good. So I'll start my interview with asking you, how did you come up with your name? I'm sure it's probably your regular name, but still.
Right. 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 Well, you know, it is part of my name, obviously. But funny story about it is, growing up in my neighborhood or whatever. Of course, everybody familiar with I'll be sure or whatever. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So growing up, I was that boy that was, singing. Then it just so happened I was light skinned with curly hair and shit. So the name just stuck. It's like a nickname
Okay.
just from the neighborhood kids and shit growing up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. And where exactly are you from?
Southwest Philly.
Southwest Philly. Wow. Great. Great. That's like where I reside at right now.
All right.
So, um, what type of music do you make?
R&B and a little bit of trap soul.
R&B and a little bit of trap soul. Okay, interesting. So, how long have you been doing this? Like, how long have you been singing and stuff?
I've been singing all my life.
All your life you've been singing. Great. Um, Um, what type of, so you said you made R&B and trap soul,
Right.
right?
Well, I started off
Um,
as an R&B singer,
oh,
but
okay, okay.
as music progressed over the years, it pretty much they created a genre,
Yeah.
which is trap soul, and that's kind of like in the same lanes like Tory Lanez, P&B Rock, Bryson Tiller, people like that. You know what I'm saying? So I would
Mm-hmm.
put myself in the same category as them guys.
Okay. Cool. Because I feel like all of those artists, such as Tory Lanez and PNB Rock and Bryson
Mm-hmm.
Tiller, I feel like a fusion of like rap or hip hop mixed together with like
Right. Nobody did that. So,
possibly neo soul and stuff like that mixed together. So I like that. That is it has a unique way about it.
right.
Um, where so tell me, where can people find you at on all your streaming platforms?
Well, all streaming platforms such as Amazon Music. I'm on YouTube, of course. Um, Apple Music, iTunes, um, Tidal. So I'm on pretty much every major streaming platform.
Okay, so when people find you, so I noticed that on streaming
Mm-hmm.
platforms, most people today, when they listen to music, we're in such an instant gratificated culture that if we find one road bump in finding someone, we won't continue to look for them. So,
Right.
how exactly does everyone look for your music on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Tunes,
I usually
iMusic,
tell everybody
Tidal?
to put the title in, the title of the album, the EP itself,
Okay.
and then you'll
So
it comes up.
what's the title? And what's the title of your EP?
My latest EP is Late Nights and Daydreams.
So you would put in owl dot b
Mm-hmm.
late
Late
night
Nights
and
and Daydreams.
late nights and daydreams. Okay, so put that in fully. Okay, to
Yep,
find to find the music. Okay. So you said do you have a YouTube?
I do.
Okay, so you have a YouTube, a Facebook. You have Facebook?
Yep,
Okay, and an Instagram.
and Instagram.
Do you have any music videos on your YouTube?
I do.
Oh, okay, great, great. You have
You
music
just type
videos.
in LB and it'll come up.
Good.
ALBSWP is the page if you want to, see all the videos.
So, do you have any upcoming performances, whether virtual or live?
I do have a live performance coming up in Baltimore, Maryland soon. We were supposed to be in Texas, but that recently got canceled due to the COVID situation.
Sure.
So that got pushed back. So we're going to be doing that around late May.
Okay, so late May, you're going to have a lot of performances in Baltimore, Maryland.
No. The performance in
Uh-oh.
Baltimore, Maryland is actually tomorrow.
Okay, performance
Performance
in
in
Baltimore,
Texas
Maryland tomorrow.
was pushed back.
Oh, okay, all right.
In
So
Texas.
where would okay, so is there any announcements on the location, or if you don't want to announce it, that's fine, but I just
Well, not yet. I'm saying that's
okay. All right, so
when,
we'll leave.
when it comes about, then I'm gonna have like a post for everybody to see whatever.
Okay, great. Um, so do you have any products or merchandise for sale besides your music? Because your music is merchandise.
Right.
But do you have any products and merchandise for sale?
We do make clothing. Clothing. I have my own clothing. I'm sorry. Which is Cash Club Entertainment. So
Okay, I'm sorry, your own clothes. What's the name of it?
Cash Club.
Oh, Cash Club Entertainment.
Yeah. So you'll see
So what kind of clothes do you guys sell?
like shirts and hoodies and stuff. Hats. We just like in
Shirts
the
and
space
hoodies
of
and
that.
hats and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, everybody can use those.
Right.
Use
Exactly.
shorts, hoodies.
I'm saying, like I
Yeah.
said, we're in the beginning stages of it, so it's not in full effect just yet. But
Okay.
it's coming though.
But you do have something available though now.
Yeah.
That's good. Because I mean, yeah. Um. So due to COVID-19 shutdowns, it really made it hard for the music industry, especially the live music industry, as well as entertainment. Any outdoor entertainment, anything that you could think of that gathers a crowd, it is really compromised. So where do you see the future of that? Where do you see the future of live music and music performance?
I mean, right now it's kind of hard to tell, honestly, because
Okay.
like I said, this is something brand new to everybody. Like this is, it just came about unexpectedly. So we still like honestly still in the early stages of it. Even though it's been like a
Yeah.
year, we still don't, really have a whole grasp on the whole situation. So I mean, as of right now, I really don't have an answer for it. Kind of silly. I
That's
mean, just
fine.
going with the flow.
Okay. Um, was there any so what artists have you worked with, or what artists have you worked with, or do you have any projects, any collaborations?
Well, so far, the artist I worked with was Boom,
Boom.
a local
Mm-hmm.
comedian. Reed Dallas
All
was
right.
also from my hood. PNB Mean, he's a part of the whole PNB clique, whatever.
Okay.
Um, I have an upcoming project with Za Sosa coming in the future. He's also a
Okay.
local artist or whatever.
And are you making new projects with these artists, or have you made past projects with them, or you're
Past
just
projects
like
with him.
past
The
projects with
only one
them?
that I have coming up like is Za Sosa.
Oh,
He's the only
okay.
one
Oh,
that we in the making
okay.
of.
Okay. Um. So, uh, what is like some? So no, I'm going to ask that after I ask this.
Mm-hmm.
If you had the chance to work with any mainstream artist or just an artist, period, who would you want to work with? And the second question, this is like a two-part question.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a chance to work with any producer or production company, who would you want to work with?
Damn, there's so many of them, honestly. But I mean, if I had my choice to work with one,
I mean, you can name the few that you like. I mean, it's not
okay.
like a,
Well, I would say like Jacquees would be one. I
Jacquees.
think we'd make like a bomb ass album, and then I would step outside the box and work with a guy by the name of Mayor Hawthorne.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Mayor Hawthorne.
Mira Hawthorne.
Yes,
Okay.
you never heard the boy, like definitely look him up. Like he makes some dope ass music. Like he's bomb.
Okay.
So I would definitely work with him.
So, and who would you like to work with as far as production? That was for music? That was
That
for
was music
singing, right?
wise, yeah. That was music wise.
Okay, that
Production
was music.
wise, um, I work with
You work with Timberland.
Timberland,
Mm-hmm.
Swiss.
Mm-hmm.
I think we make some like dope projects.
I think you would. I think it would. They would
Right.
make a. I think that they would pair up nice with the kind of music that you make.
Exactly.
So what is your current what is your current single that is out now?
The current single that's out now is World Tour, featuring Pressure.
Okay, so World Tour featuring Pressure is the latest single out.
Mm-hmm.
And like so what is some of the best advice you would give to someone who is newly becoming into the music game, or newly becoming into entertainment, or just trying to get out there?
Well, the best advice I would give is do your homework. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Definitely check the background and everything. I mean, contract wise, if they come at you, that type of manner. Try to learn the business side of it first. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why it's called the music business for a reason. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? So definitely study and do your homework with this because it's a cutthroat game. I can tell you that much.
It's- And how
Very tough.
long have you been doing this professionally?
Um, it's been over 20 years now.
Oh wow. Okay,
Right.
so
So
you
it's
have
been
a
a
lot
while.
you would have a lot of insight about what's going on in the back end. Is there anything that's going on in the back end of music business that you would like to share with artists or whoever is in here, or you just would like to talk about?
When you say the back end, what you mean by that?
So the back end is like record deals, is contracts, touring,
Okay.
album releases, promotion, stuff like that. Any
Okay.
one of those. I mean, it doesn't have to be like that because
Well,
I'm real like Pacific
right. I
like that,
got you.
but
I understand. I
still.
understand. Well, I would say one thing about that is the pandemic, right?
Mhm.
To me, I would say it's a gift and a curse for an independent artist.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right now, as an independent artist, you got the upper hand
Mm.
because like I said, we have the opportunity to make music and distribute it in the way that we want. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Whereas though an artist who's already established, they're the ones that's like they're really going through it right now because they can't perform anywhere, they can't really put out the type of material they want. So it's like almost like they're bonded and they really hurting. So if you pay attention to social media, you see like a lot of artists is like bashing like the labels and their management team stuff like that because of what's going
Mhm. I just gotta plug my
on.
phone in. I'm listening. Keep going.
Contracts, I would say, they're not always a bad thing, but they're not always a good thing either if you're not careful. That's why it's important to read, understand the fine print, understand those legal terms. You know, definitely
Mhm.
get hooked up with the right entertainment lawyer because you can find yourself in the hellhole if you don't.
Okay. Sorry, I had to plug my phone in.
No, you good, you good.
So, what I wanted to ask is, how do you go about finding the right team, or at least the right music team that you could trust that can help you elevate, your career or what you're doing?
Uh, definitely find people you can trust. You know what I'm saying? Close friends, family members, things like that, and make sure they got the same, grind and determination that you got. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? That's like the perfect fit for you. If you find, those people that's just in it, they want to be in the spotlight, it's never going to work. I can tell you that now.
Okay.
It's never going to work out. So definitely find the right ones that you can trust.
Um, is there anybody that is in your crew or anybody that is a part of your staff that you would like to talk about and talk about what they do for you?
My brothers.
Okay.
My brothers. I mean, they pretty much was here like from day one, of course. So they help out pretty much with the promotion. They travel with me. They're on stage.
And these are your biological brothers or your friends?
My biological brothers.
That's great.
Yep. So I mean, like I said, we have our own entertainment company. We have our own brand. It's not just
And what is the name of your
anything.
entertainment company?
Cash Club.
Cash Club. Okay.
That's our LLC. But like I said, this is our thing, family thing. So I mean, we keep it all in the fam.
Is there any more artists in your family, or
Yeah, we got a
are they
couple.
doing?
We got quite a few. I
Which
got my cousin, down south right now doing his thing, Kel 58. So I mean, y'all can follow him, whatever. He also raps.
what is his name? I'm sorry.
Kel 58.
Kel 58. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
So
and
he
we
also
actually
rap.
did an album together. We did a whole compilation album together. That was the one I did, the project I did before this one. That was
Okay.
so
All right.
that was pretty hot.
Um, do you guys recruit any talent?
We do.
Awesome. So you guys do recruit talent.
We do.
And how many artists is on in your company right now?
As of now, we got about 10 artists, including myself.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. If you wanted to talk about the artists or what they do, that's fine. If not, we'll just move on to the next question.
I mean, we can move on to the next question. I mean,
Okay. Okay. Um, what so um have you ever been on a tour, whether it's small or large?
mm-hmm.
And if you have, what are some things like that you should look out on tour, or how does someone get a tour going on?
I mean, well, we've always funded our own tour, just by doing research. Like I said, you have social media now. Everything that you want to know and learn is all within this very thing that we're talking off of right now. Networking is key. So you can find, open mics. You can find, local fairs and things like that in the area. That type of stuff. They have competitions and things. You can say funding your own tours is a big thing.
Is it very expensive?
It
Because I've
can
never
be.
been on a tour.
It can be.
It
But
can be very
it
expensive.
can be. But like I said, you got to spend money to make money.
Well, that's for
You know what
sure.
I'm saying?
That's
So
definitely true. If you don't spend anything, you're not making
right,
anything. You're
exactly.
not investing anything.
You got to invest in yourself.
Right. Hey there, guys. Hey, what's up to everybody that's watching? And thank you for tuning in. Um, let's see. If there's anything that you actually want to talk about, and I had a lot of questions that I missed, but I'm able to like really, really tear through questions really fast.
Right.
So if there's anything that you would want to add or talk about or discuss, you know,
Um, just buy my album. Come on,
just
support me.
buy your
You know what I'm
album.
saying? Come on,
Okay, we'll
support.
talk about. Okay, well, tell people. So for new people that just came in,
Right.
tell them where they can find your music at again, and you can talk about your album
Right. You can find my
because that's what
music
this
on
is here for.
all major streaming platforms. YouTube, of course, Apple Music, Spotify, um, Amazon. All the major platforms. They're all.
Okay. And I just want to tell any viewers and people out there, it is very, very important to support independent artists and business owners, especially Black-owned businesses
Mm-hmm.
and businesses in your community, whatever platform that they're on. Either they're doing music, restaurant shows, or whatever, and stuff like that. Because once you support it, you can make it larger than what it is, very much larger. Like, your fans and your people and followers have the power to make you very, very successful. Um, so if this is the part in my interview when I normally ask the guests if
Right.
they have any questions for me. If you have
Um,
any questions for me.
well, how long have you been interviewing guests?
How long I've been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So I started my first episode, I think in February 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I started thinking about it like early, maybe 2021, late 2020, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was inspired by a guest that came in because I had a vlog just about everyday life,
Right.
about having a counterculture against the things that society is trying to normalize.
Right.
And his name was Abe Spitter. So shout out to Abe Spitter. And when I was talking to him, I started saying, wow, there's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of local people in all of USA, and they're not getting the exposure that they should have. People are not seeing these people that's talented that I know that are around me and just everywhere. They're not seeing that. They're not seeing the restaurants, the singers, the services, these event planners, these business owners, and all that. And we need someone to talk about that kind of stuff so that their
Right.
businesses can be seen. Um, and people can look at, and can look at what they do and appreciate what you've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to have a business on your own and support yourself financially and get the thing started. You see people after they make their business, but the beginning of when it
Right.
was started is hard. Um, so so like I graduated from community college in 2018 with a music performance degree, and then I get accepted in three colleges. I decided to take Temple University, and I stayed there for 2 semesters
Mm-hmm.
for music performance. But then I found out that I really would like to get like my bachelor's in like music business or journalism or something like that. I think it's important. The interviews are important.
Right.
Um, um, so I want to talk to you a little bit more
Okay.
about music business, if that's fine.
About what?
Like music business,
Okay.
if that's fine.
That's fine.
If that's fine. Um, so let's say when you made your videos, was there a certain crew that you used, or a certain director?
I used multiple directors. I mean, the most recent was a guy by the name of Peter Parker, who's located in Miami.
Oh, okay.
So
You
that's
made
why I
your
shot.
video in Miami, or he was up here? I'm
I
sorry.
shot in Miami.
Oh, okay. You shot
I
the
shot
video in
twice in
Miami.
Miami, actually. I shot twice in Miami. I'm sorry, because I shot one a year ago. My biggest single off my last album, which is Wine for Me. And then I shot one,
What is it called?
Wine for
I'm
Me.
sorry. Wine for me.
Wine,
Okay.
right. That's like a Caribbean vibe type song.
Yeah.
Nice little party joint. Then I
Okay.
also got the single Weekend Vibes, which was also shot in Miami by my guy on my grind, 215 on my grind. So
215 on my grind.
yeah,
Okay.
he's a local director also.
So to get a good video, how much does that normally run you to get a good video? Where can it run you in between? I don't need the
Well,
exact number, but I'm curious.
when I'm gonna give you the exact number. When I did Wine for Me, I spent well over 15 grand. Well over.
Oh, okay.
Because, like I said, it was the area where I shot it at, the type
Mm-hmm.
of, zeros and things I had in the video,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So it cost a lot of money. It was costly, but it was well worth it because the video got over like 100,000 views.
Mm,
100,000 views,
okay.
and it got me a sit down with Def Jam as well. So, I mean,
Okay, so I'm glad that what we're talking about segued into that. Is there anything that you want to talk about with major record deals or major record execs? Is there anything you want to talk about
yeah,
that?
like I said, all contracts like aren't bad. it's just like it depends on what they trying to sign you for, and you have to look for the loopholes. Like the one I sat down with Def Jam with, it wasn't a bad situation, but it was a situation where I was more so looking for a partnership and not so much a deal. You understand what I'm saying? I wanted
Okay. Yeah.
distribution
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
my company. I really didn't want uh, an artist deal.
Is that okay? I got you. So is that a distribution deal, which is like you guys
Yeah,
go into go
it's a
into
partnership.
it together?
We're going together.
Hmm.
It was a partnership. You know what I'm saying? I
So
had
that's what you were looking for,
that's what I'm looking for.
but they were trying to give you an artist deal.
Right. They wanted an artist deal, whatever. But I mean, like there
Hmm.
wasn't a bad deal, but that's not, you know.
How long ago was that?
This was a year ago. This was right before the pandemic really popped off.
Okay.
Like I said, we still in talks with each other. You know what I'm saying? It didn't really the situation's not off the table as of yet. It's just that they want us to do more footwork before they give us that type of deal that we want. You see what I'm saying? So they're still
Yeah.
like very much interested. It's just that, you know, if they're gonna give us that kind of money, that kind of situation, then we gotta put the work in as well as a team. So they want to see how
Okay,
well we work
guys.
as a team, and once that pop off, then we on our way.
Okay, guys. Well, I hope you guys are listening in. That I'm having an interview with Al.B, and he's talking about
Al dot B.
record labels and music. Is Al.B or Al_B or just Al B?
This Al B.
Oh shit, Al B.
It cracks me
I
up
call it
when people do that
Al.B.
though. People always do that. Al dot B or ALB, like just Al B.
Right. I think it's because of the
Yeah,
Instagram
the
name.
Instagram name.
Okay.
Cool though. I
So
mean,
just Al B. So
just
I
Al
can
B.
actually take that off.
Right.
Okay, guys. So we're talking about some major record labels and some music business, and that's what you guys should be listening up to. So if you're an artist and you're in this room, I'm glad you're in the room. We're dropping some music business and record deal gems on you. Did you get any other record deals, or
Uh,
was any of them
I had to
marketing?
sit down with Atlantic. I sat down with Atlantic. Sat
Okay.
down with. I was actually offered a contract. Um, through a branch off Rock Nation called Equity.
Oh, was that a distribution deal? Was that an artist deal?
That was a distribution deal. That was, but that type of distribution, I'm kind of already currently doing myself, so I really didn't need that. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't really
Okay.
fit for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Especially for the percentage that they wanted, it, to me, it wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth it.
No.
Right. Okay. Um, so is it smart or is it safe to say that if you are an artist and you have put the footwork in and you have your own company, is it better for you to try to get a distribution deal or an artist deal, or is that solely up to the artist?
At that point, it's better just to stay independent. Don't even try to get a distribution deal unless
Hmm.
if you have your own company. If you have your own company like me, then it would be well worth it. But if you're an artist and you're solo, like I'll make a prime example of somebody in the city that's solo. Or you know what? I'll say something that Chance the Rapper. You know what I'm saying? He's a solo artist who has an independent situation going on. You know what I'm saying? He got damn near every label wants to bring them on, under the spot, but it's like he don't need them.
Hmm.
All that money he's bringing in belong to him. He don't got to pay them. You see what I'm saying?
Um. Yeah.
So if he got his own company,
Um. Mhm.
then it would be worth it.
Mhm. If you got your own company, then it's worth it more so to do like a distribution deal or just stay independent.
If you got your own company, it's worth it to do the distribution deal. Like
Oh,
I said,
okay. If you have your own company, it's worth it
right.
to do the
Like I said, 'cause at that
distribution
point,
deal.
you know, you're going into a partnership.
Right.
You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? It's not really, just okay, well here's some upfront money for you, whatever. We'll see, later on down the line, and we'll see what your album does and so on. Them situations are a little crazy.
Mm. So the next question that I want to ask you, because I'm glad I'm talking to somebody that has been offered these deals and can actually talk and elaborate on like the difference between them.
Right.
The difference between them, the knowledge. Um, does the promotion or the reach that you get as an independent artist versus as getting as a signed artist, can it be compared? Are they both just as good?
Say it again. I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. Say it again.
Okay. So I was saying, can the promotion
Mm-hmm.
for as being an independent artist, or is the promotion being an independent artist versus being signed to a label, both as good as one and the same or as good as each other, or it's different?
Uh, that all depends.
Hmm. What does it depend on?
That all depends, honestly. Like it depends on how hard you go as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you really going out there, you doing the footwork and really putting them, putting them numbers in,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it ain't no need for a major at all.
Mm. Mm. You said just no need for a major label.
Nah, not. I mean, in my opinion, there's no need.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, a
Mm-hmm.
major label is just as good as Wells Fargo or Bank of
Mm.
America, places like that. I mean, if you got A1 credit, you can go in there and request the amount that a major label will offer you at this point. Because you got to think, right now, all major businesses are shut down. We in a pandemic. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? So places like Atlantic Records and Capitol and places like that are not bringing in nearly as much money as what they were bringing in 5, 10, 15 years ago. Especially now that we're in the digital era. You know what I'm saying? Everything now, like we was talking earlier, is all here on this very device that we talking off of. You can make your money right off of this on your own. They have programs you can use. You could be your own, producer, your own songwriter, your own beat maker, engineer, all that. So, I mean, honestly, if you really put the footwork in and do what you have to do as an artist, I mean, you're paying yourself. You don't need that
Mm.
middleman. But it's just a simple fact that a lot of these younger people who don't really understand the industry, they like that upfront money because they don't understand. They just see dollar signs. They don't see, legal terms behind it. They just see dollar signs. And they take it. You got to think, the average kid or whatever like that, average, black kid, come from nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Come from nothing. So it's like, they're poor. They don't really have much. And they actually, you know what I'm saying? Those are the ones
I'm
that are
sorry,
after
it
because they,
went out for a minute.
can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear now. I'm
You know
sorry,
what
it went
I'm
out
saying?
for a minute. Sorry.
Labels will target those type of people.
Hmm.
They'll go for them because they know they don't understand the terms. They can easily, bait them in.
So, when does the major label normally reach out to an independent artist? Is it after they have a certain amount of
Yep.
views on YouTube?
Well, all that. YouTube,
All
Spotify,
that.
when they see you making noise and your city start talking about you or whatever, then they coming for you. When your single is making noise or your album, whatever it is you're doing, when they generate buzz, they coming. Because at the end of the day, that's less work for the label to do. They don't have to really
Right.
build you as an artist. They don't have to invest too much in you because you already got a name. All they got to do
Exactly.
is, okay, well, look, we're going to give you this loan right here. You already got a hot single. So in about a year or two, we expecting you to double what we just gave you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you bring that money back, but mind you, this is where kids go wrong, right? I'm going to say this, so everybody's listening. Listen up. This is where the kids go wrong. They get that money here, sign this. When you get that check, the first thing the kids doing wrong, they going to, Gucci, Louis. They buying cars, they buying houses, chains, watches. You see all the stuff you see in the video, right? Because they got maybe $1 million, $2, $3 million, right? That the label fronted them with the right type of, work and team behind you. You can make that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 million on your own, and they got to pay nobody back. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is the label come back in a year or two and be like, okay, well, you know what? Remember that 3 million we gave you? You was expected to bring in 6 because you had a hot single. So we need our cut. And now, the kids looking lost, like, well, damn, like, I done spent that 6 million that you got to spend that money. And you know what the label do to get their money back? Okay, well, you know what? Because you got a hot album and your album still bringing them money, we gonna place you on the shelf. You're gonna get shelved as an artist and blackballed out the industry. And every time your record make money, anytime you get a stream or anything like that, that's got to go back to the company. This is why you might hear like of a Silento, you know what I'm saying, who might have a popping song during the summertime, but then when the fall time, winter time come, you don't hear from him no more. Because yeah, okay, it was a hot single, still making money, but Silento ain't making money no more because everything that he made off of that album, that company got to get, because the money that he was fronted, that he was supposed to put, through promotion and his budget and everything, he done spent it.
So, what would the best advice if you are an artist and you're going to sign a major a record deal, and let's say the record company is going to front you $250,000? What should be the first thing you should be doing?
The first thing you should be doing is saving. Save half of that.
Mm-hmm.
Save half of that. So that way, if in case a situation like that does happen,
Mm-hmm.
you still okay.
Right.
Save half of that. But it's just a simple fact, a lot of people are just, built in with the mind frame. So, $1 million ain't going on. $1 million can easily be spent in today's society. Like it ain't nothing. The way, people spend today is nothing like it was years ago. We got so much more going
um, is it so? What is like some tips to get your video
on.
or your YouTube video more views or to get it more traction? Because I'm noticing
Mm-hmm.
that Instagram is almost like YouTube and Facebook put together, and
Yep.
we're instantly gratified, and it's dating Facebook and dating
Yep.
YouTube, even though those are two still very important platforms.
That's just what I was going to say. Instagram to me is the best tool to use to get your video out there, because not only that, like the thing is, you have people you can use like comedians, like local comedians that might have, let's say 50,000 followers, other artists who might be, a little more on you. Use them for promotion. Like I said, you gotta pay. And be honest with you. You gotta invest in yourself.
Oh,
Investments is
that's a good
everything.
thing that you
So
brought up.
you might have like,
Right.
that person that got buzzed, they'd be like, okay, well look, for $50 or whatever, I can promote your video on my page. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You gotta pay that $50, you know what I'm saying? To get your,
Right.
yourself out there like that.
So paid promotions
Paid promotion,
on micro influencers pages does work.
it does work. It does
Okay.
work. I mean, sometimes, like, you might, if you got the money, you might use the more expensive sites like State Cheese and, Philly Scoop Hall, like things like that. World Star.
Mm-hmm.
That's the fastest way to get your buzz up.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to do it.
So
Go ahead, I'm listening.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt
No,
you
no, you
because
good. You good.
what you're talking about is very interesting.
You good. You good.
Very interesting. So the paid promotions work, but how do you know how many? Let's say you
Mm-hmm.
go to a micro influencer's page who has about 50,000 followers,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to pay them. You want to pay them to put an ad up for
Mm-hmm.
you. Do you put it in your story? Do you put it in your page?
You
And
talking about if you want to
can
reach
they?
out to them? No,
Mm,
just DM. They might have it in their story or their page or whatever. And you just, you kind of like talk and network with them, and they go from there.
mm-hmm. Okay, and you're guaranteed. So let's say you put that in there for 24 hours. Your ad. Let's say you put your ad in their stories for about $50 for 24 hours for a day. You will. It does the. Can when you talk to them, do they guarantee you followers? Do they tell you how many people will follow you, or they just guarantee that you'll get some followers?